Good morning. It is first thing in the morning on a rainy day on the farm today. It's raining out there pretty good. So I just wanted to come on here and show you guys what I'm working on today. Yesterday, Cody brought me home a nice big watermelon. And so I cut the watermelon up and I'm trying to work on how much we waste, right? So I'm trying to give things to the pigs, to the chickens if I can, compost. And then I'm trying to use as much as we can, right? Like we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so why not use all the things? So what I decided to do is I started looking into what you can do with watermelon rinds, because I know you can pickle them. But unfortunately, Cody doesn't really like pickled things. He doesn't like pickles. He doesn't like pickled beets. We're going to work on that because all the stuff in the garden, pickling is a good way to save it. But he doesn't like it. So for the watermelon, I figured I would look for something else. And what I found was candied watermelon rind. So the first thing I did, I cut the watermelon. And I cut it like you would cut it, right? Like, so you cut the ends off, you set it up right, and then you cut down the sides to get the rind off. And then I peeled with a potato peeler, the green part off. So it's just that white part and a little bit of the pink, right? Like that greenish white and then the pink. The part that you don't really like to eat. Like if you were eating it and it was still on the thing, you'd probably leave that and throw it away. So I cut that off. I cut them into 1/4 strips, 1/4 inch strips. And I put them in a big bowl with some salt. I'll put the recipe down in the comments so you can look at how much salt and how much water to put. So it was like 6 cups of watermelon rinds. I had way more than that. So I probably could have doubled this. We'll see how it turns out if I want to do it again. Or if I just want to pickle them. So now they're sitting in a pot of water boiling. And in about 25 minutes, it says to boil them for about an hour on like a low simmer. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to rinse them off, and I'm going to put them back into a boiling pot with sugar and a little bit of lemon. And then it calls for a whole lemon. I'm going to use a little bit of lemon juice that I've canned because I don't have a lemon on hand. And we're in a pandemic, so I'm not going to the store. So we'll see how it turns out. So this is part 1. This is after you let them sit in the water. I let them sit in the water overnight. And then now they're boiling. I'm assuming to get all the salt back out. So, okay, so these are about ready to be taken off. I'm going to take them to the sink. Oh, that's heavy. And I'm going to just drain them in the sink. In the strainer. They look like. Now I'm going to heat up 3 cups of water and 3 cups of sugar in the pan. Just enough to get the sugar dissolved. Okay, so my pan's already nice and hot. I've got 3 cups of water. And I'm going to get 3 cups of sugar. Need a smaller. Like a half a cup. Okay, 3 cups of sugar. Oh, and this is also where the lemon comes in. So I've got some lemon juice I can. So I'm just gonna pop that baby open. and I'm gonna put that in there. So it says to simmer I don't know how much lemon juice to do. Calls for 1 lemon, so I didn't really measure the lemon juice. We'll see how it tastes. I got a little bit more. I'm also gonna rinse the watermelon rinds again, just to make sure that all of the salt that was in that salt water that I did is gone. I gotta be really gentle with them because they're kind of flimsy. Look, that looks like it'd be tasty candy. Okay. Now we wait for the water to simmer, and then I'll put the watermelon rinds in. Okay, now that's done. All the sugar has dissolved, so now I'm going to add my watermelon rinds back to the water. Now we coat them, so make sure they're all nice and covered in the syrup. And then, so that's what it looks like. And then we let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So, that's where we're at. I'm gonna let it come to a simmer, and then I'm gonna time it for about 20 minutes. And then after that, the only step left is to dry. Okay, so our simmering time is over. And now it's time to rinse them again. And then we're gonna lay them out to dry. Something else you can do is coat them in sugar. I don't think I'm gonna coat them in sugar. We'll see how they taste. I'll probably taste one once they're dry enough and cool enough to taste. I don't really want the extra sugar. You can, but we'll see. Okay, so I have prepped a sheet pan with this little thing on it, and I'm just gonna try to dry them on that. We can dry these in the oven, so I'm gonna dry them in the oven because it's much quicker, and it's raining today, so I'm not gonna be able to put them in the sun. So I'm gonna try to set my oven to as low as it will go, 170. So 170 it is, and in they will go. Okay, I just wanted to check in on the watermelon. I tasted one, and it is really, really, really good. So I separated it onto 2 different baking sheets. We're at about 5 or 6 hours in the oven. Somewhere between 5 and 6 hours in the oven. And that's what it looks like. I'll pull one of these trays out. So that's what it's looking like. And the ones that actually have the red, because they were thinner, are actually a little bit more done than the thicker pieces. The thicker pieces, just because they were thicker, had are taking a little bit longer, but it is super, super good. I highly recommend this recipe. I'm gonna leave, I also turned some of it. So especially the thicker pieces, I flipped them over just so that the back side of them would dry. But you can tell they're done because they're kind of sticky and gooey, and see how it kind of sticky? And I may actually coat them in sugar because of the stickiness. We'll see what it's like once they cool off out of the oven, but definitely recommend doing. Really, really good treat, snack. So back in they go, and I'll check back in a little while. All right, they're done. I'm gonna take them out. They look pretty good. They look like a dehydrated fruit. So I'm gonna let them cool before I do anything with them, and then depending on what they're like, I took these ones out before because they dried a little bit quicker, and as they're cooling, they're kind of hard. So they're like drying more. So we'll see what happens when they're done. Okay, so they're all done. And I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna put them in a baggie with a little bit of sugar in the baggie, just so they don't stick to each other. Okay, it's done. So, things I would do different. I would add more lemon, and I would cut more rind. I pulled out another small bag from my neighbor. She provides me with all kinds of stuff, so she gets stuff too. I would add more lemon, and I would cut more rind. I threw a lot of the rind away because it looked like a lot, but it dehydrates down to a little bit. But definitely more lemon. And if I had ginger, I probably would have added some crystallized ginger too. That probably would have been good.